Kingdom Hearts, the franchise that needs no introduction, confusing players on its storytelling and making them shift consoles to even learn about said story before the idea of re-releases and collections were even a thing. Not to mention the long wait for Kingdom Hearts 4, but that's neither here nor there. With the main protagonist of said game, Sora, whom I can only describe as the goodest of boys that isn't afraid to slice you in half with his big ass key. And Mickey Mouse 11s. A while ago, I saw a video from Prodigy XCD in which he searched up on Versus Battle Wiki and saw that Sora was around low complex multiversal and could beat Goku in a fight. What if I told you he's much stronger than that? I did scale him a while back in 3 parts over on TikTok, but where I concluded and the reasoning behind it wasn't valid in my eyes, so I intend to rectify that with this new and improved version. Also try to keep this scale easy to digest for people who don't know what these terms mean, so that they can actually grasp how strong Sora is. Massive shoutouts to, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name, Bobscian for the scans and the deep dive into the cosmology of the verse. You can check out the full blog in the description, as I'll shorten it and explain it in simple terms. If you do enjoy this type of content, or just like Kingdom Hearts in general, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe with post notifications turned on, that way you never miss a video from me. But without further delay, let's dive. Now, to understand how strong Sora is, we first have to understand the cosmology of the verse and what it scales to, as this will be important for Sora's attack potency. But what exactly is a cosmology to start off with? A cosmology can be defined as a scientific study of the large-scale properties of the universe as a whole. In other words, what does the universe contain? To start things off, we know in the Kingdom Hearts world, each world is considered a separate universe, blocked off from each by normal means. And they need special ships, such as gummy ships, to travel, as they do hold special barriers that prevent normal spacecraft from entering them. We also know that there's replicas of these worlds in the Datascape and Jiminy's book Datascape. A lot of people just assume that each world is just a planet, which isn't true, as we have multiple pieces of evidence that contradict this belief, such as in Birth by Sleep, where the Grand Councilwoman oversees the entire universe yet has no further knowledge of any other world in the Kingdom Hearts verse. How would each world be a planet if she oversees the entire universe yet doesn't have any knowledge of any other world? If they truly are planets and we travel to and from them in each game, wouldn't it be safe to assume that they would all be in the same universe or the same solar system if that was the case? Which is also another detractor of the notion that these worlds are merely planets, as non-Keyblade wielders or King's bodyguards in Donald and Goofy have no further knowledge of the other worlds. The only exception of this being the people in Traverse Town, but this is mainly due to them being forced to know this information, as Traverse Town is seen as a place where people whose world falls into darkness go to when they have nowhere else to go, which is seen with Leon, Yuffie, and Aerith. All the more reason why this wouldn't make any sense. Not to mention, they would only seem as small as people say they are due to gameplay reasons, as I'm pretty sure on a PS2 system, the idea of depicting an infinite space would be pretty much impossible. But that's just one statement you may be shouting in the comments. In an interview with Tetsuya Nomura, the creator of the Kingdom Hearts series itself, he stated that Beast Castle from Kingdom Hearts 2 is infinite in size. While this may seem to apply to one world, I find it hard to believe that it only applies to Beast Castle and not the others, seeing as the world map portrays all the worlds to be the same size. In Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, it's also confirmed that each world in Kingdom Hearts has its own time space and thus has a different time flow. These worlds can also be considered pocket realities based on this fact, but this is also due to us seeing characters being banished into other dimensions, such as Pete, by either King Mickey or Queen Minnie, depending on the game. Each world is located in a space known as the Ocean Between, a space that holds every world in the Kingdom Hearts verse, in which there is seemingly an infinite number of them, as backed up by Terra in Birth by Sleep, who makes it known that there are as many worlds as there are stars in the sky. However, by no means is this proof that they are travelable by normal spacecraft, as there is still a barrier that still needs to be traveled through, as seen with the aforementioned Gummy ship, the dark portals that the organization uses, and the Keyblade ships that the Wayfinder trio use. Returning back to the Ocean Between, we also know that this space will be larger than an already infinite space, considering that it houses each and every world in the Kingdom Hearts verse that have already proved to be infinite in size, thus making it a hyperspace or a 1C structure. Moving on from that, we have the Realm of Darkness, a place devoid of all time, as stated by Aqua in 0.2, and was stated to be endless in size, trapping its victims in this place for a while. Keep in mind the word endless and infinite in some cases are synonymous with each other, thus meaning the exact same thing. The Station of Awakening, a place that is traveled to when a person goes into deep sleep, that has a personal flooring depending on its user. Despite us not knowing much about this place, it is considered similar to the worlds in the Realm of Sleep, in which these worlds are the remains of worlds that are still in darkness and have not returned. This is actually shown to us in Dream Drop Distance, as we see Riku go into Sora's Station of Awakening to try and wake him up, but Ansem then tells Riku that he's in a dream within a dream, and that no matter what changes he makes, he cannot wake up Sora fully, practically saying that Riku could travel an infinite amount of dream worlds, waking them up but still not be able to save Sora, which should place this realm at 1C at the low end and 1A at the higher end, similar to the ocean between for the same reasons I presented earlier. Lastly, we have the space known as Quadratum, a place that acts as the afterlife that isn't the final world we see in Kingdom Hearts 3 and that the Kingdom Hearts verse sees as fiction. This place is also lacking things such as light and darkness, which make up the world of Kingdom Hearts, being described as higher dimensional, which would put it under spaces such as the Station of Awakening and the final world, making it a lower tier structure than the previously stated realms. Now for a quick recap, as I'm pretty sure that was a lot to get through. In terms of scaling, each world follows as such, Quadratum being at the bottom, scaling to at least 4D. Next would be the Station of Awakening, Final World, and Sora's side of Dream Drop Distance, scaling to at least 5D, seeing as they would scale above Quadratums due to the fact that they have the concepts of light and darkness in them. Next would be Riku's side of Dream Drop Distance, as they are stated to be dreams within dreams, making them a higher tier above the previous, thus making it 6D. And finally, the main Cosmology would scale above all of that, making it at least 7th dimensional, with this being bumped up further, seeing as the main Cosmology houses an infinite amount of universe-sized worlds that are considered pocket realities or infinite dimensions inside them, making it a 1A structure. So after all that yapping about the Cosmology, what does any of that mean for Sora's overall strength or attack potency? Sora's attack potency or strength should be at the very lowest complex multiversal to as high as outer verse level. Complex multiversal is described on the Versus Battle wiki and character stats and profiles as being able to universally affect, create, or destroy 5 to 7 infinite dimensional coordinate spaces or constructs. Keep in mind that phrasing, as it says universally affect in some way, seeing as plunging a world into darkness or destroying a world would fall under that definition. With outerverse level being described as a level of power that sees the character or structure in question scaling above the concept of dimensionality as a whole, in which there would be 12 dimensions in total, all of them being infinite size, and thus anything past that would be outerversal. As early as Kingdom Hearts 1, we see Sora defeating the likes of Ansem the Seeker of Darkness, a person who threatened to plunge all the Disney worlds into darkness and thus effectively destroying them. Prime example of this being Destiny Islands, Sora's homeworld. Sora also fights off creatures such as the Heartless. Creatures in their weakest forms, such as the Shadows, have the capacity to destroy said worlds if the keyhole is not sealed up and they get access to the core. Now you may add that Sora had help during this fight, however playing the fight fully, we know that Sora in multiple instances was on his own, while Donald and Goofy were sent elsewhere, which would add validity to Sora being comparable to Ansem as he's shown relativity to him, thus making him multiversal in just Kingdom Hearts 1. In Kingdom Hearts 2, we see Sora and Riku fight off Xemnas in a height of fight. Xemnas, who had previously absorbed an incomplete version of Kingdom Hearts, a giant heart in the sky made up of light, and with it he threatened to not only make himself whole as well as the other organization members, but also make his own world in his own image, similar to that of Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts 3. Speaking of which, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora with the help of his friends is shown taking down Xehanort, who wields the Keyblade. The Keyblade is stated to be created by a higher dimensional being, and with it Xehanort's plan was to fully reset everything in the Kingdom Hearts verse back to zero with the power of the Keyblade and a fully completed Kingdom Hearts. Again, while Sora did have help in this fight from Donald and Goofy alongside the other Keyblade wielders who were weakening Kingdom Hearts, this would still put Sora around the complex multiversal to outerversal levels of power for showing relativity to Xehanort and defeating him in the end. It's also stated that Aqua, while utilizing her D-Link, has the power to shatter the Keyblade itself, showing that she's comparable to a wielder of the Keyblade, and thus so would Sora, seeing as he faced off against a dark version of her in the Realm of Darkness, something that Riku and King Mickey couldn't do on their own. With all that being said, this will put Sora at complex multiversal to outerversal in terms of attack potency by the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. When it comes to speed, there's two metas we can scale Sora to, the MFTL Plus or Massively Faster Than Light Plus meta, and the Immeasurable or Irrelevant Speed meta, which can be defined as moving beyond the flow of linear time, thus making it so that the speed cannot be measured, and being so fast that the concept of speed is irrelevant or being above the concept of distance itself, respectively. The reason for specifying the two is because Versus Battle Wiki doesn't use irrelevant speed anymore compared to a site like Character Stats and Profiles, which does. The MFTL Plus meta stems from the notion that Sora would scale above Ventus, who is capable of reacting to Stitch's cruiser, which has the ability to traverse the solar system in its entirety. This is something that all the Keyblade warriors from Birth by Sleep are capable of doing, seeing as Aqua becomes a Keyblade Master with Terra being relative to her, only failing the test because he couldn't hold the darkness inside of him. Sora then fights and defeats the Lingering Will in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix as a secret boss, who is basically Terra's soul inside of his Keyblade armor, and even fights Terranoi in Kingdom Hearts 3, who should be comparable to the Lingering Will considering their fight in Birth by Sleep in Kingdom Hearts 3. So with all this information, he should reasonably scale above Ventus in terms of speed, and in Kingdom Hearts 3 he's stated to be the only one capable of fighting off an even stronger Xehanort who can completely toss around the Wayfinder trio as seen in the secret ending of Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep's final act, in which Sora, alongside Donald and Goofy, managed to take him down at high difficulty. Not only that, but he should logically be faster than Monstro, who is capable of traversing multiple worlds around the world map. As for the immeasurable to irrelevant speed meta, we know that Sora is capable of fighting off characters such as Dark Aqua in the Realm of Darkness. Keep in mind, this realm is stated to have no concept of time inside of it, and the fact that Riku states himself that Xehanort surpasses space and time, thus breaking the speed formula, as calculating speed is done by using distance divided by time, so if time isn't present but distance is, then the speed can't be measured, hence the name, granting Sora immeasurable speed to irrelevant speed if you want to use the notion that out-of-versal characters scale to this tier of speed, meaning that these characters are so strong and fast that calculating their speed is pretty much, well, irrelevant. Before I continue with any other category, if you do enjoy this type of content or are a Kingdom Hearts fan in general, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe with post notifications turned on, that way you never miss a video from me, like I said at the beginning of the video, as it does help out the channel. As for question of the day, at the time of recording this video, Kingdom Hearts has finally been ported to Steam, so I ask, what is your fondest memory of the Kingdom Hearts series if you're a returning player, and if you're a new player, what are you enjoying so far about the series? For me, when it comes to my fondest memory, it would have to be when I played my first Kingdom Hearts game, that being Dream Drop Distance for the 3DS. I got this game for Christmas, if I remember correctly this was around 2011 or so, and pretty much got it because a friend of mine convinced me to get it, even though I never finished it as a kid because Xemnas and Anti-Black Coat Nightmare kicked my ass. Yeah, I wasn't the best player back then, but even still, managing to get to the final boss of each campaign is impressive in my eyes, seeing as I would normally watch my older brother play instead of playing it for myself. So massive shoutouts to my friend and my dad for dropping $300 on it for Christmas. Anyways, back to the video. When it comes to stamina, I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with Sora's clash against 1000 Heartless in Kingdom Hearts 2, and even his encounter with 10,000 in Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's very safe to say that Sora has at least peak human to superhuman stamina. In addition to this, Sora has access to the ethers and elixirs that can replenish his MP or magic points so he can cast any cure spell to heal himself. As for Sora's hacks and abilities, aka just how broken our main character is, he has access to elemental manipulation, time manipulation, size manipulation, sleep inducement, poison manipulation, gravity manipulation, after image creation, electromagnetic manipulation, force field creation, telekinesis, summoning, stats amplification or increasing one's own stats, healing, fate manipulation, power mimicry, power nullification, levitation, resurrection, regeneration negation, existence erasure, life absorption, immortality negation, and reality warping. Our final two categories in the scale, we have Sora's IQ and Battle IQ, in which in terms of intelligence, Sora is severely lacking. At his highest, you can say that he's as smart as a regular 14-year-old, at least a 14-year-old that grew up without technology such as computers and smartphones, seeing as he operates a smartphone and a computer like some of your parents do, as he grew up 14 years prior to getting the Keyblade without those. We also see that Sora is prone to deception pretty easily, but that's not to say that he's a complete idiot, as Kingdom Hearts doesn't really tackle academics, even though in the later games Sora makes it seem like he only has one brain cell. As for his battle IQ, this is where Sora really shines, as he's able to master and utilize the Keyblade to its fullest extent, despite not being its intended owner. He also acquires multiple spells and different forms of them in a short amount of time, as well as defeat characters and gods with multiple years of experience compared to him. Mind you, Sora didn't exactly have a teacher for most of it, instead being self-taught for the most part, except for learning the basics of magic spells and then gaining higher and more advanced forms of these spells. He also did majority of his sword training play fighting with sticks on Destiny Islands alongside Riku and the others. It's also worth noting that in a group of 3 official Keyblade Masters such as King Maiki, Aqua, and Riku, Sora outshines all of them by defeating Xehanort, in which no one else thinks that they're up to the task aside from him. Mind you, this Sora failed his Mark of Mastery exam and even lost majority of his strength at the end of Dream Drop Distance going into the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3, making someone like Pete confident that he could take on Sora despite him being bullied around by him in Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, I'm pretty sure that was a lot of information to digest, especially at the beginning with the Cosmology scale, so let's recap. Sora should scale to complex, multiversal to outerversal in terms of attack potency, with MFCL plus to immeasurable or irrelevant speed depending on if you still use irrelevant speed, peak human to superhuman stamina, access to impressive hacks such as power nullification, fate manipulation, and existence erasure, capped off with a very high battle IQ. So when it comes to overall stats, Sora is pretty stacked and could most likely solo your favorite burst, although I'm not going to mention any in particular. But what do you think of this scale? Do you agree? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, or let me know who I should scale next. While you're down there, like I said throughout this video, be sure to give this video a like and sub to the channel with post notifications turned on so you don't miss an upload from me, as it really does help out the channel. Again, big shoutouts to Bobscian for providing the information, as I would have struggled to make this video otherwise. For my longtime viewers, I am so sorry that you guys have to keep waiting for new content. Working 2 jobs and finding the energy to post isn't as easy as I originally thought. However, I hope this video and the next video, being Mario Leona vs Star and Stripes, will be worth it in the end, so I hope you guys enjoy that whenever that video does drop. At the time of recording this video, I'm pretty much done scripting and I'm on to recording and editing, so you guys won't have to wait too long for that. But with that being said, I've been your host Jojo, and I'll catch y'all later.
Girl, you seem like you know me, but you can barely tell when I'm not